For question 11, the 15 marker, it says students in the class are recording the amount of time in minutes spent in front of a screen for each day of the week. The one-dimensional array student name contains the names of students in the class. The two-dimensional array screen time is used to input the number of minutes on each day spent in front of a screen. The position of each student's data in the two arrays is the same. For example, the student stored at index 10 in the student name and screen time are the same. Right, the variable class size contains the number of students in a class, and we want to allow the students to enter their minutes, their daily minutes of screen time for the past week. So yeah, basically 7 days. Right, then calculate the total number of minutes screen time for each student in the week. Right, count for each student the number of days with more than 300 minutes of screen time. Calculate the average weekly minutes of screen time for the whole class. Find the student with the lowest weekly minutes of screen time. And for each student, we want to output the name, the total week screen time in hours and minutes, the number of days with more than 300 minutes of screen time. And right, also we want to output the average weekly minutes of screen time for the whole class and the name of the student with the lowest weekly screen time. Right, it then says, well, we can use pseudocode or program code, and we have to add comments. All inputs and outputs must contain suitable messages. Right, student name and class size have already been initialized. And then here, when it says you don't need to declare any arrays or variables, now this only means the arrays and variables, they've declared here. Right, but any new arrays well, let's say any new variables, right, we will have to declare. Right, so what we can do then, right, again, if you want this starter code, well, click on the exam questions, find February 2024. Now, here I've just commented this, right, we can uncomment if we want. Now, basically, the question we actually have to, loop through and just ask them to input. Right, if you just want some test data, because like maybe you don't want to have to input, let's say here, right, like 3 students, 7 days, right, that's going to be 21 inputs. If you don't want to have to, input that every time, well, then of course you can use this test data. And to be honest, like if you do go to the exam questions here, this test data will be random. So, sometimes there'll be like 50 students with, of course, more data. But here I've got 3 just so it's kind of easy to visualize. Right, so, first then, let's just think about the variables we need, because honestly, there's a lot of stuff we need to do for this. So let's go declare, and I think the first one we need, this is kind of the total minutes for the current student. So let's maybe say, total mins for student. Right, we then also need, the total minutes for the class. Right, okay, so enter the daily minutes. So when they enter this, well, this will be entered, into this screen time array. Right, the total minutes of screen time for each student. So that's going to be this one. Right, counts for each student the number of days with more than 300 minutes. So let's say maybe num days over 300 minutes or something. And these variable names are quite long, but I think otherwise it's sort of difficult if we use short variable names. Maybe we forget which one is which. So it's kind of good to be descriptive like this. We'll also calculate the average weekly minutes. So I guess the average weekly minutes we can do using this total minutes for class. Right, finds the student with the lowest weekly minutes of screen time. So here, let's call this maybe, lowest. All right, let's go maybe lowest minutes. Or maybe lowest minutes like student. Or I think just lowest minutes is okay. So maybe that's everything. And if I forgot something, well, I think I'll just go back later and do it. But of course, if we have this lowest minutes, well, here it does say we also need the name of the student with the lowest minutes. So we will also need to declare that. Let's go maybe lowest minutes and name. Right, then this here will be a string. Okay, and then, I think maybe that's all we need. Right, so, let's think about which of these we need to initialize. Now, the total minutes for student, also the number of days over 300 minutes, well, these we just initialize each time inside the loop. like each student each student we're looping through, right, we would then initialize these to 0. So we don't really have to do this at the start. But I think this total minutes per class, well, we only need to initialize this once, right? So let's do this at the start. This lowest minutes, I mean, some people, they do something like this where they go, let's say lowest minutes, and set this to some huge value, right? And then of course, well, if the sort of current minutes is less than the lowest minutes, well, then they set the lowest minutes, to be this sort of total minutes per student, right? Which I mean, that's the current minutes. But I mean, that's not always the best way, because, well, I mean, let's say like if the lowest minutes was actually bigger than this. Now in this situation, obviously it's not going to be, but I mean, let's imagine you're doing data for, I don't know, some scientific data or some mathematical data, and yeah, maybe they have like 50 digits or something. So yeah, I mean, there's actually a better way to do that, and that's to check, well, if the student number is 1, right, so if it's the first student, well, then we set the lowest minutes to be their value. Else, well, then we compare, if the sort of current total minutes is less than the less than the overall lowest minutes. So yeah, I'm just going to basically leave that blank, and then I think here, I mean, let's just start looping. Right, so if we look, well, here, I mean, we want to loop until the class size, which in this case will be 3. And then right here, this will be, 7, right? That's just, the number of days. So let's call this maybe like student num, and the student number, this will be 1, right? And then we'll just go to the class size. And then, like I said, well, here we just need to initialize the total minutes per student. Right, that's going to be 0. Also the num days over 300. Okay, that's also 0. I think that's all we need. Now I will leave myself space just in case we need anything else, but yeah, hopefully that's fine. Then what I want to do, let's go for the right. This is the day. Right, so let's say day num. This will be 1, and then we'll just go to 7. 7 days in a week. Right, and let's go output, and well, let's output a message like enter screen time for student 1 day 1. Okay, something like that. Right, so enter screen time for right, so let's say student. This will then be the student num, and let's just go day, and right then let's just go day num like this. And well, here we can just input this, and I mean we're inputting into this screen time. Here we are. Alright, we're inputting into this screen time array. So if we look then, in fact, let's go, screen time. Well, the row is going to be the student number, and the column, right, this will be the day number like this. Now, what we want to do, well, we want to basically add to this total minutes per student. So, for student. So hang on. Right, I mean, so yeah, here we're just kind of adding to itself. Right, then this is going to be the screen time. And to be honest, I mean, you could have another variable if you want, call it like sort of num minutes. So here you, for example, here you do, let's say like num mins. And then this can be, plus like num mins like this. And then you'd also go, for example, what happens? Right, okay, then you'd also go something like this, and yeah, that's going to be num mins. So I mean, you could do this, with this extra variable, but I think for me, I'm just going to use, the array directly. Even though I guess, actually to kind of writing this out would be quite slow. So yeah, maybe it is better to use just a temporary variable in the exam. Right, so what we want to do then, let's go if, because, well, we want to check if this is bigger than 300. So, why does it keep doing that? It's just jumping to the top for some reason. Right, so if this is bigger than 300, right, then what we want to do, we just want to increment the number of days over 300 minutes. Right, and then, is there anything else we need to do for that? No, so I think, we don't need to do anything else in there. Because, well, we've done this, right, counted the number of days with 300 minutes, more than 300 minutes. And we've also calculated the number of minutes, for each student. Okay, so right, let's try the next one. Okay, calculate the average weekly minutes for screen time of the whole class. So right, that's going to be just adding to this. Now, I mean, we could do it in here, so we could go something like total minutes for class, then total minutes for class, and then, well, plus, you know, the sort of current, the current day's minutes. But the problem with this is, well, I mean, here we've got, well, like 3 students and then, you know, 7 days. So effectively, you know, we're just doing this addition like 21 times. So I'm actually going to copy it, and then, well, if I just go next, right, so let's close the for loop. Right, then I'm going to paste it here. But then in this case, right, this won't be the screen time, because remember, this is only for 1 day, right? What we want is, well, we want to add this total minutes per student, because, yeah, this will be their total for 7 days. Right, so yeah, that should be identical. And then, right, we want to find the student with the lowest weekly minutes. So, like I was saying, what we can do, we can check if the student, student number is 1. And then if it is, we'll set this to be the current lowest minutes. So here the lowest minutes, this is the total minutes per student. And let's go lowest name. Right, and then this is the student name array, and then the index is the student number. Right, but then we want an else, and okay, there we go. Right, this is where we do the normal way of, you know, checking for min, checking for max. So we just say, right, if the total minutes per student is less than the, well, lowest minutes, right, then what we're going to do, we're going to set the lowest minutes, and yeah, this will be the total minutes per student. Right, and we also need to remember to set the name as well. So just like before, this is well, the student name array, and then yeah, the index is the student number. Alright, so I think, yeah, okay, so well, let's recap. So allows the students to enter their daily minutes, yes. Okay, calculate total minutes of screen time for each student in the week, yes. Yeah, okay, yeah, we've done that. Right, count the number of days, yeah, okay. Right, calculate the average weekly minutes, yeah, we just did that, right? Yeah, so we've done that here. Well, I mean, okay, so, I mean, we've calculated the total. I mean, yeah, the average we'll do at the end. Right, so find the student with the lowest weekly minutes. Yeah, we've done that. Outputs, right, so here then, let's just output this for the student. And, I mean, the name is easy, right? The number of days more than 300, well, that's also easy because, you know, we've calculated here in this for loop. The sort of slightly tricky one is, well, we want to output the screen time, but in hours and minutes. So let's think we have maybe 150 minutes. Well, what we want to do, we want to convert that to, you know, 2 hours and 30 minutes. Now I'll give you 5 seconds, you know, try and pause the video, right? Have a think about how you can do that. Okay, so maybe you've realized, I mean, here we can just use div and mod, because let's say if we do, well, I mean, let's just write it here, right? If we say div, let's go 150 div 60, right? Then hopefully you realize this will equal 2, okay? This will be the hours, because we're saying, well, if we have 150 minutes, this can be kind of like wholly divisible by 60, you know, 2 times. Right, and then if we go, let's say mod, right, this is again 150 and, right, 60. Well, this is saying, you know, what's the remainder after we've you know, divided by 60? And in this case, well, this will be 30. Because obviously, well, we can divide by 62 times, right? So, well, that's going to be 120. And then, of course, well, 150 minus 120, right? That's, you know, 30 remaining. All right, so, yeah, I mean, that's how we can output this. So let's just go right here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to output the name, and then I'll say screen time. So, right, this is the student name. This is the student number. And let's maybe have a apostrophe like this. And yeah, let's just go screen time. Right, and I mean, here again, you know, we could have more variables if we want. However, I think I'm going to do it, yeah, just on one line. So, right, let's say, yeah, div. Right, this is the total minutes per student. And yeah, we're dividing this by 60. Right, and then let's just say hours. And then here, well, this is going to be mod. This is the total minutes per student. And yeah, this is going to be 60. Yeah, okay, and then, well, then let's just go minutes like this. Right, then we also want to output the number of days over 300. So let's go, yeah, days over 300 minutes. And then this is the, yeah, num days over 300 minutes. Okay, so I think that's everything. Then we just want to output these, so the average weekly minutes for the whole class. Okay, so let's just go, next, okay, so next student num. Right, so the minutes for the whole class, let's go output. Yeah, to be honest, right, I'm actually just going to add a separator, right, just so we can kind of see the difference between, let's say, the student values and then the total values. Yeah, let's also add a new line between each student as well. Right, so let's say, yeah, maybe average minutes for class. And I mean, here they don't say we have to round it, so I think we could just divide it directly. Right, this is the total minutes for class, and then, well, divided by the class size. And yeah, this total minutes for class, I mean, this should work. Right, then the next one, the name of the student with the lowest screen time. So let's say, yeah, student with lowest screen time. And then here, this is just the lowest minutes name. Right, so, yeah, hopefully this is everything. Yeah, I think that's everything. So let's just run it and see if it works. Okay, so yeah, enter screen time student 1 day 1. Let's say, I want to think of some like easy values. Let's say 60. Maybe let's say 120. Right, let's say 180. Right, let's say maybe 240. Yeah, although to be honest, actually these are not that simple. Right, let's go 300 and 360. And wait, hang on, did I double enter? Okay, no. Alright, so yeah, 420. Right, so, I mean, here it says 28 hours. I mean, yeah, days over 300 minutes. Well, I mean, the days over 300 minutes, that seems correct. Okay, these 2 days. I mean, 28 hours. Like, I guess we've got, what is it, 240. So I think, right, this is the average because, well, these are less. Yeah, sort of these are more. For example, this is 60 less, this is 60 more, this is 120 less, yeah, 120 more. So I think basically this is just 4 times, because yeah, so 24 is 4 hours. Yeah, although, yeah, okay, so I think that's correct. I thought it wanted the average, but yeah, this is just the total. Right, and then, I mean, honestly, like, we can just do the same. So let's say maybe 100, let's go 200, let's go 300, right, 400, yeah, 500, 600, 700, and then maybe the last one, I mean, well, let's check if that works. I mean, 46 hours, 40 minutes, like, probably that's okay. I mean, let's try something simple. Let's just go 10, kind of all 10s. Right, so if we think about this, well, this is 1 hour 10 minutes, and we can see that's correct because, well, 10 times 7, 70 minutes, right? That's 1 hour 10. Yeah, days over 300, right? That's 0. I mean, average minutes for class, yeah, probably that's correct. And then, well, Matteo, and yeah, they're this guy, right? Just 10 minutes. Now, I mean, let's just test this quickly. So let's go maybe 10. And I mean, yeah, there is a lot here, to be honest. And then maybe let's just say like 20. Right, and then let's just go 30. Okay, so here what it should say the average is 20 minutes. Right, average minutes for class 140. So is this... Okay, yeah, so I guess this is fine, right? Because this is the weekly minutes. Alright guys, so I mean, I think, yeah, this seems to be working. Now, I will actually check the mark scheme, just to make sure this is correct. Yeah, I mean, hopefully there's no sort of, strange behavior. Right, now, if you do actually want to use the test data, because maybe you don't want to have to input like hundreds of values each time, well, I'm just going to uncomment this. And then what I'll do is, I guess, well, rather than just inputting like this, yeah, like now basically, I mean, this should just work, hopefully. Alright, so now if we just run this, yeah, I guess it's saying what average is this. Again, Matteo is the lowest. And if we look at this, I mean, yeah, right, this seems to be correct. Okay, guys, so again, I mean, hopefully this makes sense. As always, if it doesn't, well, yeah, ask in the comments, ask on Discord, and see you in the next video.